Hello, this is Gene. I just thought I'd give you another update what's going on in Charlottesville. Um, Looks like there is some video out there that shows that the guy that's being accused of second-degree murder, like also fleeing the scene as well. Clearly, his car was hit before he actually drove into the actual crowd of people, and it was also mobbed after he actually hit the cars. So I think he might have a defense here. So yesterday I was talking about some of the people on the alt-right saying that we have to support this guy and give him a legal defense or whatever. I'll have to say that I was probably wrong with that. Of course, these people didn't know that before. They just did it because, he was quote-unquote from the alt-right, and we have to defend a person like that. I think that there is a good amount of believable evidence, reasonable evidence that will probably exonerate this kid. He's going to have to find somebody that it's a good lawyer. I hope that the ACLU will come in and defend him or whatever. There are people that I've watched online that said that they're trying to set up or save some money for him. Listened to Millennial Woe's recent stream, and he had, I think it was Gray Johnson, and he said he's going to be trying to figure out what to do to try to support this kid. We might find out that because the cops basically might have led people that are trying to leave the scene in their cars, and they just led them right down where all the Antifa protest was. And so they obviously have something they have to call. They have to be responsible for some of this. In the last couple days, or yesterday especially, I called out a lot of people on the alt-right, the leadership, that they have to be responsible, and I still believe that. I think that we're very naive, our leadership, if we actually have that. They were naive about the whole event, and now they want to go to like another place after that. But whatever. So I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of people still saying this is going to be a seminal turning point when it comes to this movement. I just don't think until we get certain parts, and again, I don't want to do this because if I say that certain people shouldn't be allowed, it sounds like I'm taking away their free speech. But we have the ability when we're planning these type of events, and when the person has the most media coverage, let's say, is Richard Spencer. So regardless about the other people that are walking with us that are not quote-unquote alt-righters, there might be National Socialists or Sons of the Confederacy, Richard Spencer has to understand that he is the de facto leader of the march. So when he has the ability and he has the people with him, that if somebody comes up with their flags and they're Nazis or something like that, that maybe we should ask him not to display that. Again, it's one of those, I don't know, damn if you do, damn if you don't, because they're going to still call people Nazis for marching and stuff like this. But it's just the optics are not good. And in order to get things actually changed in this country, anytime soon, is that we have to win the minds and the hearts of the people that are going to have to vote for people that are going to change the laws. It's clear that both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, are still saying it's a white supremacy march that caused all these issues, that there's been no really blowback against the Antifa yet. There's been a couple things on Breitbart about it. People are going to come out more and more about it. But I said online yesterday, and I believe it today, even if you had 100% proof that it was coordinated by the town, people don't care about that. They all have their own narrative. They still believe that Michael Brown had his hands up, that he did nothing wrong, and people still believe that today. They celebrated I guess, killing or police shooting that was 3 years ago. They celebrated like he's some sort of a civil rights icon. So I don't think that we're going to ever get them to actually listen to that. But again, it's one of those hard things. I don't know where we go from here. I said yesterday that I no longer consider myself the alt-right. I think I'm past that. I think that it's just not the way until they actually change some of the stuff. I'm not going to label myself that. I'm just somebody that defends Western civilization. And I realize what that means. It means that that's white people. And people can call me racist for it. I don't really care at this point. But it's clearly that. And we need to defend our way of life. And we would, I think any of us, anybody in the alt-right that thinks like I do, and there are a lot of us that I think that way, that would think the same way for anybody else of another type of culture in their own lands that were being replaced. So I don't think it's a bad thing to want, and they're not going to hurt me. I saw that they were doxing all these people that were in the march. It wouldn't hurt me. There's nothing to do with me financially to me. I'm probably just not the demographic that would be the person that actually wants to lead the party right now, or the movement right now. And I don't have the oratory skills anymore after my stroke. So please, if you have any comments, let's talk about it below. Think of what you think they should do. Do you really think those who might come to my channel that actually dislike my videos but never puts anything in the comments, I don't know what their issue is. If you think that people that are defending white culture or European heritage are racist for doing it, I'd like to know why you think that way, and why is it only people that are white that are called that. No one else in Israel ever says that about them. People in Japan are not looked at that way. The imagery, the optics need to be changed, and this should be a learning event for us. We should try to, I'm not streamline the movement per se, but we should make sure that the optics are right. When we go out there and we march, we have to have a plan. We have to have a plan B, plan C. I don't think we had one after this. I think the plan was was allowed to march there, and then when that stopped, we got the ACLU on it, and we were all happy about that. And the first night was fine, but clearly people knew that shit was going to happen the next day, and it's going to happen no matter where we have these type of free speech rallies. That we're going to be looked at as white supremacists just because we're marching for free speech. But we got also, if Richard Spencer wants to be the leader of the alt-right, or if he wants to be one of the mouthpieces for it, he has to take responsibility for being that. And he just can't afterwards just say everybody was after him. Okay, we all knew this before that. You clearly knew that before that everything you say online is misrepresented. So why would you think anybody that you've already had issues with in Charlottesville would be any different? We should have had a plan B or plan C. I'd like to know why he was driving the young kid that got, or man that is being accused of these things. I would like to know why his car was down there. If the police directed him to go that way to get out of town, I don't think there's any reason why he would be down there. Now I've been in Charlottesville before, years ago when we were traveling in the South looking for a deaf school for my son. We stopped in Staunton, which is somewhat close to Charlottesville. It's about 30 or 40 minutes away. And we just drove in there, and we went down where the university is and where the stadium is. And I know all those areas, and there's a lot of one-way areas. And it's clearly to me that after the cops basically marshaled the people on the alt-right, or the people that are there to unite to right, away, that they just allowed Antifa and other people, Black Lives Matter, just to have control of the streets. And I got into a little debate on Twitter last night saying that a lot of people said Antifa didn't have any right to be there. Well, of course he had the right to be there. It was the Unite the Right that was asking for a permit to march. Anybody can just show up to see what the march is about and can say things about it, or maybe protest against that. But when you ask to march, Antifa had every right to be there. After the police actually changed everything, and a lot of people in the alt-right or the National Socialist or whatever the hell they were, they went off away from everything. I think the cops probably failed at that point to disperse downtown. But it's kind of hard to do where that is, especially in Charlottesville. It's a college town, and it's on a Saturday. It's kind of hard to actually do that, and there wasn't anything going on per se until there was some skirmishes of people that might have been looking like they're white supremacists, and of course Antifa and their ilk had to have skirmishes. Now, before all this happened, there was some skirmishes, and I think at that point that's all that the local government wanted to see. Once we saw that and was on periscopes or online or something like that, they said that's enough for them to shut it down, and that's what they did. And they have every right to do it. Maybe their judgment was poor, and it's unfortunate that the other cops that were in the helicopter unfortunately died. Clearly they weren't related, and I didn't like the headline saying that it was 3 people were killed because of this violence. No, apparently after more information comes in, it looks like exactly what they said afterward. Some of the people that were in obviously they had informants in the police that actually said they thought the guy was panicked and he didn't mean to do what he did. And I think it'll come out, but the prosecutor charged him with second-degree murder. So that's interesting, and this could be a prosecutor that's trying to get his name out there. And we know about and what Richard said about the leadership there in Charlottesville, they are biased. So clearly, if anything like this happens, they're going to go after anybody like this. And nobody on the left is actually going to look at anything. Like I said, I stopped for about an hour or a day before I talked about it. But what I knew at that point, it looked to me that it was personable on his side to do what he did. I don't necessarily believe that anymore. I think he probably panicked. The question is, why was he down there? If he was down there because he was directed to go down there, or was he down there to start something? And so I haven't changed my mind, but I think that he has a really good defense. He just needs a decent lawyer. So those people, I didn't call out anybody. I didn't understand why we were trying to support somebody like this, and I was too quick on the draw for that. I thought I waited long enough. I thought I'd seen enough of the video. There were more, and we should always have the ability to do that. So that's all I have. Please, if you have any comments below, I'd like to get this out to as many people as possible. I think there's a way that this is an important event, but we need to take some responsibility on our side as well, and so the next one it'll be better. But thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later, and you have a good week. Goodbye.